Welcome to Competing Ideologies. In this video, we will look at the evolution of the two competing ideologies that shaped the Cold War: democracy and capitalism versus communism. Democracy. Democracy is a form of government in which power is with the people. People participate in deciding issues directly or through elected officials who make laws in their interest. Power flows from the people up to the government. The roots of democracy can be found in the Age of Enlightenment, where people began to question the idea of divine rule and the right of the king. One of these people was John Locke. John Locke believed that people are rational, intelligent, and reasonable, and therefore the source of power came from them. Government actions, according to Locke, should be justified by popular consent. This idea was also supported by Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Rousseau believed that man was born equal and citizens should be able to make laws directly. Another philosopher who supported these ideas was Montesquieu. Montesquieu believed in the worth of individuals and the accountability of government to the people. There are two major forms of democracy: direct democracy, in which people make laws directly. Think of it like you and your friends going for lunch. Everybody has a vote, and the decision of where to go for lunch is based on that vote. Versus representative democracy. Representative democracy is when you select someone to make that decision for you. And we select leaders in our municipal, provincial, and federal governments to make laws on our behalf. The idea of capitalism worked well with these ideas. Capitalism came about from the physiocrats who critiqued the idea of mercantilism. Mercantilism was the economic theory at the time, where mercantilists believed that wealth should be used to protect the power of the state, and that wealth should be in gold and silver. Physiocrats believed that individuals should be given the freedom to make their own decisions, and believed that self-interest and competition would lead to greater societies. The father of capitalism is considered to be Adam Smith, a Scottish-born economist who believed that working for self-interest in a free market would lead to a strong economy. He published the book Wealth of Nations, in which he believed that the invisible hand would be a strong market force, and the market would self-correct itself, helping everyone by providing jobs and cheaper products. It would reward those who worked hard and encourage others to work harder if they failed. He also believed in the limited role of government. According to Smith, government should maintain the rule of law and enforce contracts only. The idea of the free market and limited role of government became the basis for capitalism. Democracy and capitalism were the strong ideology of the United States coming into the Cold War. This was in direct conflict with the ideas of communism in Russia. The beginnings of communism can be traced to Marxism. Marxism is based on the ideas of Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels, who saw the abuses of capitalism and liberalism during the Industrial Revolution. They saw the exploitation of the working class by the capitalist rich. Karl Marx wrote the book The Communist Manifesto. In the manifesto, Marxism predicts that one day the working class, or the proletariats, would rise up and overthrow the upper class. He believed that workers should profit from their own labor, and that they would work because they had a stake in the enterprise and great interest in its success. He also believed that the state should not be involved, as it would become only a national capitalist and exploit others. Ideally, according to Marx, from each according to his ability to each according to his need. Everyone would be taken care of based on their needs and contribute as much as they could to society. These ideas were believed by Vladimir Lenin, the leader of the Bolsheviks, but Lenin believed that it needed some tweaking to fit the needs of Russia, believing in the need for state control. Lenin believed only a violent revolution could create the power needed for the people to become in charge of Russia. He incited the revolution, and when he gained power, he instituted war communism. War communism is where private markets were illegal. Private trade, private hiring, private labor, private enterprise, and private ownership were also illegal. Businesses and factories were nationalized, and surplus crops were confiscated and labor conscripted. Although Lenin believed that this would create a great society, this actually led to drops in agricultural and industrial production, causing Lenin to have to rethink his plans and bring in the new economic plan, or the NEP, which allowed for some private ownership of small farms and business owners. Upon Lenin's death, Joseph Stalin took power. He believed that even small-scale privatization was a problem and wanted to create a true communist state. He did this by creating a central economic planning committee, which implemented 5-year plans. The goal of these 5-year plans was to catch Russia up in its industrialization. He also implemented collectivization, in which farms were combined into large state-owned farms to feed and finance the revolution. There was much resistance to this, and it resulted in famines and unrest. But Stalin tolerated none of this. Stalin ruled with an iron fist, eliminating all opposition, including those within his party. He installed secret police to inform on those who were opposed to the state, and he also relied on propaganda to convince the masses of his greatness and the values of his ideas. Propaganda was a large tool used during this time to create a belief in ideologies.